Hey, how's it going, my friends? Welcome to another episode of the Mindfully Resilient podcast. My name is Josef, and I'm your host and coach. That's right. Even if we've never met, my hope is that through this show, I'm able to coach you through life's hurdles, your next workout, or to set your mind up and spark up your passion for your next goal. A coach is someone who can see and understand the story or the game from the outside, from the sidelines. They can use a language that stimulates objective thinking when emotions overwhelm the mind. They ask the hard questions. The questions we don't want to admit we know the answers to, the ugly truth questions. But these are also the right questions to ask. And they're asked with compassion and without judgment. Coaches make you feel good about what you can do, about the possibilities you can achieve. And sometimes they'll even make you laugh during the session. My guest today is a coach that encompasses all of those qualities and then some. Blake Miles is a lifestyle coach and platinum level master coach practitioner with the Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise coaching program. With over 35 years experience in the field of self-development, Blake Miles is an expert in helping people transition to a life of abundance. Blake is a highly regarded speaker, host of 3 online broadcasts, and facilitator of both live and virtual retreats. Blake co-wrote the Certified Coaches Federation's book, Adversity to Adaptability, and the Red Chair publication, I Know Why, which I received a copy from him, a signed copy, which I'm so grateful to have received. Wonderful book, by the way. As well, he has also written Less is Never More Guide to Abundance. Blake holds certifications in coaching, speaking, fitness training, and stagecraft. He's an award-winning theater and film producer. That's right. On top of being a coach, he has experience in the film industry. He's also a former radio personality and proud husband, father, and grandfather. Blake is also someone who I'm honored and grateful to call my friend. So buckle in, folks, because you are about to listen to a conversation we had back in December of 2019 that will spark an abundance mindset from within. And Blake also shares his 3 tips on abundance. So you don't want to miss those. All right, so let's do this. Everybody, thank you very much for tuning in today. I am here with an old friend of mine. Well, old meaning as in time, quite young friend, Blake Miles. Blake, how are you today?
Old, no, but feeling young, feeling very young.
Fantastic. You know what? And this, as with a lot of people, this has been a long time coming. I've been wanting on my show. I just want to find the right opportunity. And I think to kick off season 2 of the Mindfully Resilient podcast, I wouldn't have anybody else, except for Suzanne, but you as well. It's great to have you. And I think you and I, our journey together started, I would believe, 2016 at Sergeant Ken's.
Jesus, I thought you were going to say 26 years ago.
26 years ago. Wow. So we were in high school together, right? And you were my teacher. But 2016, we were in Sergeant Ken's boot camp certification course. So we're talking about the level 2.
Yep.
And I don't know who we were.
I think we were in level 1 together, but I don't think we'd met yet. I think we met in passing at level 1 because it was busy and packed. Level 2 was a little more intimate.
Well, level 2 was at the conference. Level 1 was in the gym.
Level 1 was the Sunday after the nutrition summit, or at least mine was.
Yeah,
so
no, mine.
Maybe we weren't at the same one.
No, maybe we weren't at the same one, but We met through Ken, and I think a lot of my relationships today have been through Ken and just my involvement with CanFit Pro. And so suffice to say, I'm glad that we crossed paths and we developed this friendship because you bring a certain element in my life where it's that positivity and our connection. I think I'm grateful for that. And you had an amazing story to share. I don't know if you remember the story you shared with Ken. You got up and you said, "I want to share something with you," and it was quite inspirational. And I just wanted to know if you wanted to share it, if you don't mind, with our listeners.
Well, yeah, I mean, at the time, that was pretty much the only story that I had, and that was my personal reclamation. That was, making my comeback, and I remember it had an impact on a lot of people, and including Ken. That was kind of where we had our breakthrough, and it was basically the story of how I turned things around and came into living abundantly. And when I first started, I guess we're going to about 2010, so we're going back 20 years now, when I was in a nowhere job, but it was a job that kept me sitting around a lot and eating fast food, and I left that job. I had to leave my nowhere job, my dead end job. I had to leave. Talk about a double triplicate non-success story, because my teenage daughter got pregnant. And so basically, at this point, I'm taking an assessment, taking stock of my life, and I'm 100 and something plus pounds overweight. I was weighing in around 315 to 320 by the time I left that job, and I'm only 5'11", so it's and it wasn't muscle, but I'm overweight. My family's fallen apart because we had financial problems, and then we got a teenage pregnancy, and all through all of this, I'm this grumpy jerk, and the victim, blaming everything on the world, and nothing on myself. And Joe, I'm proud to say you wouldn't have recognized me. You wouldn't have recognized me if you'd known me back then. You just
Really,
not just physically, just even the person I am. Yeah. It's me. It's like if you don't see a smile on my face, you immediately wonder what's wrong, and just grinning all the time like a fool. I don't think I knew how to smile back then. It's just, and I think of it, and it's like thinking back to when I used to smoke. It's hard to even picture that I did it. I don't even remember being there, and yet I smoked for 30 plus years. I don't even recall it being part of my life. And it's the same as it's getting harder and harder to even visualize that person that I was at that time, because I was so miserable, ruining the day for everybody, including myself. And when my grandchild was born, I said, well, I'm gonna have to take care of this kid, because my daughter's got to go back to school. We're not, I'm not going to let her ruin her life just because she made one little mistake. It's just happening. And of all the things she could have done, she brought a beautiful life into the world. She could have hurt herself, marred herself, killed herself. She could have done a lot of bad things. She brought another beautiful life into the world. And so she's got to go back to school. So I got to smarten up. I got to fix my life. And I really struggled for a while to figure out how to do it, because I kept asking what, I kept asking how, I kept asking, who, because I wouldn't look to myself. I wouldn't blame myself for it. And I finally figured out what I had to figure out was why. Why do I need to change?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I need to make this change? And it's like, because I need to keep my family together. I need to get myself in shape and on track so I can raise this child. I need to, it's once I had my why, the purpose for what I was trying to do. And it was all about this newborn child and the family that we needed to bring together to raise this kid, right? It takes a village, but at least it takes family anyway. And so all of a sudden it all fell into place. And that was, I had the sudden revelation. Literally there was an aura of light, and as I had this revelation, it's you, pal. You've got the power to fix this. All you got to do is smarten up and stop blaming the world, take responsibility, get on it, and drop down to a nice lean 195 pounds. so I could, actually keep up with a child, and smarten up my attitude, improved my eating, my sleeping, everything. I just started living life as though it was worth living. And once I started acting like it was, it became worth living. And it, traveled to everywhere. And I brought my family back together. I saved my marriage, and I was very blessed. I was very lucky, but it all happened because I finally grew up enough. And bear in mind, I was 45 years old when I grew up, and figure out that I have the power and I have the responsibility to do that. You've got to work at it every day, but it becomes a labor of love. And quite frankly, to tell you the truth, 10 years later, I don't work at it. I'm very blessed that it just happens now. I wake up every morning and take a moment to reflect on all I have to be grateful for, and it just falls into line from there. That I just walk around with a big grin on my face because I'm constantly remembering what I have to be grateful for, which is tons.
Yes, we know, especially in today's society, we take a lot of things for granted, and we expect things to be done for us, or to us, rather than us doing it for ourselves. I've noticed you've developed that foundation from the beginning. You needed that triggering event. You needed that event, that, how would I say it, that kick in the rear end.
Yep.
As a wake-up call. And that's where you made that, for lack of a better term, I'm going to say pivot. I kind of start hating that word right now, like a lot of people, the word pivot. But, I was in the same boat when I first met Ken. And for you listening out there, go back to my interview with Sergeant Ken. I actually share this story where the first day I met Ken, I was in that Road to Resilience workshop, his resiliency lecture, actually, at the CanFit Pro conference in Toronto. And Susie, my wife, she was pregnant with our first at the time. She was about 8 months pregnant. And I knew I needed to turn my game around for that little one. And when I heard Sergeant Ken talk about resilience, where he kind of made me learn the notion of resilience, I didn't know what it was. It wasn't even, the word wasn't even my vocabulary. I felt it. It felt the warmth. And you know what I'm talking about. That connection I'm talking about, where you just feel like that little in your heart. And I'm here for those of you listening. I'm actually touching my heart right now. And you feel that spark, that flame. And, and that put me on a mission to learn more, to be more resilient, to connect with people who are examples of resilience, or are people who are looking for it. And because I know how I say it, surround yourself with people who make your soul sing. And then surround yourself with people who allow you to make theirs sing in return. And that's a fabulous story. And did you do personal training as well, or did you any sort of fitness, or just decided to do Ken's class certification?
No, I did personal fitness. I got a membership, a neighborhood membership at the gym in my city. I started small because I wasn't sure if I'd stick to it. I didn't know if I'd even have time. It became a daily ritual with me and my granddaughter. And she became my personal trainer because she would go, they had a thing called Kinderfit back then. Mm-hmm. And where she would go and they'd actually bring her into the gym and she could see me for part of the time. And then she'd be on her own. They were playing basketball and volleyball and dodgeball. It was amazing. And she loved it. She just adored it. And because I didn't really get going, I controlled my eating and just lost some weight at the beginning, but then I wanted to get to the gym and accelerate it. So she was probably about 2 by the time that actually happened. So she was up and at it, doing her thing. And I would get up some mornings. And it's like, you know what? Grampy's feeling a little tired. I think I'm, going to skip. And she'd go, I want to go to Kinderfit. And it's like, okay. So the most incredible accountability. I think I missed maybe, 4 days in the 2 years that we did that. So of course I had great fast results, but the thing was, one of the trainers that was there, because it was a city outlet, they did have trainers, but there wasn't a lot of high pressure. They would come over, they would offer you some free assistance, and it was a little different. And I got to know one of the guys, Russell. And after about, I think 6 months, Russell walks up to me and he says, do you look around the gym? Do you see all the people looking at you? And I said, I do notice I get stared at. what's the deal? And he goes, well, these people have been here the same 6 months you have. But in that 6 months, as you can see, they kind of look exactly like they did 6 months ago. Whereas you have, undergone this huge physical transformation. So they keep asking, who is that guy? What does he know? How does he do it?
Is he single?
No. Is he single? Yeah. I think there might have been one or two of those at that point in my life. Yeah. So he was the one who said, you should go get certified, because by the time you're, done what you're doing here, a lot of people are going to say, how did you do it? And with the certification, you'll be fully, trained and legitimate to share that information with them and help them in their lives. So yeah, that's why I got connected to CanFit Pro. And one of the very first things I ever attended was the Nutrition Summit. And then Ken's level 1, the one I went to, was the next day. And so yeah, that was where it all got started for me, was going into training. And then I branched into coaching, and I decided to help people with a little bit more holistic than just the fitness. It's still, health and wellness is still an aspect of it, but I realized that the fitness was only a part of what I changed in my life. And there were other parts of my life I had to adjust even before I got the gumption to go and be committed to the fitness. And I wanted to help people with that. I wanted to help people with the actual adjustment to their mindset. And that was where the abundance and freedom came into what I coach, because I teach people, people hear abundance and freedom, they go, oh, you're going to tell me how to be rich and have more time. Well, yes, but more importantly, I'm going to show you the path you need to be on, because it's not the one you think. Winning the lottery and selling your family is not how you have money and time. It's changing your mindset and adjusting your habits with the new mindset that you get. And that's what I had done in order to turn my life around. And that's what I try to help people see to do. Then we look at fitness and whatever. It's kind of like when my son was playing hockey, he wanted to improve his shot, his slap shot. And so we went to this incredible coach trainer, and we said, we want to do slap shots. So he's out there working with him for about half an hour. I finally call him over and I said, listen, I don't want to tell you how to do your job, but my son doesn't even have a stick in his hand. We're here to learn how to improve his slap shot, and he isn't even holding his stick. And he said, you know what? I'm teaching him how to skate better, how to stand better on his skates, how to propel himself, how to stop, how to stand, how to put the power from his legs and hips into his body. Because when he learns how to do that, the shot's going to take care of itself.
Oh,
that was exactly what my sense of abundance is for people, is if you fix the mind, everything else is going to fall into place. I have trouble staying committed to a gym, so I'm going to try a different gym. I'm going to try a trainer. I'm going to try that. No, the problem is the commitment, not the gym. It's you have to change your mindset and your reason for doing what you're doing, and the rest will take care of itself. That's why I shifted. But yes, I began as a personal trainer.
Yeah, but yeah, and that's true. Like more and more, in my personal experience, professional and personal experience, that you can easily count the reps, and you can tell one person, okay, you're going to push your hips back, and you're going to focus on 80% of body weight shift onto your thighs. You could talk about all the science, but if you don't get, you're going to only go so far with the client, with yourself. But once you understand the purpose, the reason behind it, the motivator, the drive, the passion, the inspiration, I talk about why, and we talk about why a lot. The things I recently learned, a lot of us have a why that's so not specific, that's very general. And I learned that recently the hard way. I spoke with a fellow by the name of Ira Davis, the Dream Diver coach, and we had a one-to-one call, and I learned that, you got to be specific in your why. You got to, to say, I serve and lead others to be better versions of themselves. Yeah, that's a good slogan, but is it actually my purpose? And my purpose at the end of the day, I realized that when I got into training, okay, I started after Sergeant Ken, I got into my personal training. I got my certification, I got a bunch of credentials. But when I think about it now, I was thinking about, like, after that conversation with Ira Davis, I was thinking about my experiences over the years. And I realized the people who I attract most, or I'm attracted to professionally, I'm attracted to one person, by the way. So Susie, if you're listening, but it's those who share a similar story, those who believe they're not worthy, those who have a lack of a community, lack of a sense of community, sense of belonging, those who struggle with weight, with health. I mean, I was 230 pounds. Now, during COVID, and my COVID weight is 190. I was 185. So I would say we're hovering up and down. I'm calling it muscle mass. But when you understand the drivers, the mindset of it and why you're doing it, you get a lot farther, because you have that. Because in those moments when you want to give up, you remind yourself why you're doing it. Why are you doing what you're doing? And it's and as coaches, and I think now I'm personally, I don't know about others, but personally for me, I'm moving away from the standard industry term personal trainer to, if I want to go more generic, fitness coach. But I even one point call myself a mentor.
Yep.
Because my catchphrase or my slogan is coaching beyond the reps. Because our sessions we are working out, but I want to make sure you're working out for the right reasons. And talking about, so we create that foundation. Once you have that foundation, you can go far. And what you're talking about as well with the skating, the hockey, when you're coaching a swing, a kettlebell swing, you need to master the deadlift or the hip hinge, the plank, shoulder mobility. And a lot of people go into the swing right away and they get injured. Understand the foundations. Yeah, jump, if you understand the foundations, develop the skills, and then progress every step, right? You got to have a rung. You got to have a rung when you climb up a ladder. Put that rung there, climb up, one step at a time. Now, you talk about that abundance mindset. So I'm going to go right into it. How would you explained abundance a little bit, but how would you define it in like one or two, maybe 3 lines? How would you define abundance?
Well, okay. The definition of abundance is no, literally the dictionary defines abundance as more than enough. It's literally what it is. So what happens is there are 3 inherent issues with that in our society. One is that people have been conditioned to believe that having more than enough is greed, and that you're in some way a bad person, right? Unless you struggle with less than enough. Mm-hmm. The second thing is that most of us do have less than enough. That's the whole problem. And we have trouble picturing our lives any other way. Well, that's the other factor with the conditioning. We've been conditioned to believe that actually acting on our dreams is a fool's errand, and that our daily to-do lists are for chores, duties, tasks, assignments, right? There's no place on those lists for our frivolous little dreams. And that's why I tell everyone, put dreaming on your to-do list. It's the only way that you'll get it done. So if you want to develop an abundant mindset, and by the way, this is, I have to urge that all journeys in life are lifelong journeys. People have to realize you're a work in progress. One of the first things to embrace is that you are a masterpiece. Not you're going to be, you are. You are a masterpiece. But you're the kind of masterpiece that you never stop working on. You're always adding a new stroke of color, a new tone, a new idea, whatever. You are working on one piece of art for your entire life. It's you. You're already a masterpiece. You're just constantly making it reflect a little more and a little more. So it's an ongoing journey. But if you're looking seriously to develop an abundant mindset, then you can get started by doing 3 things right now. Here's my top 3 list.
Is this an exclusive?
This is an exclusive. I'm sorry, it's not. This is what I tell everybody. I will share some exclusives before I'm done, but this is my standard. This is the at a party somebody goes, hey, tell me how to become more abundant right now. This is the one right here. This is the 3 things you want to do. 1, turn off the noise. I guess this is maybe my catchphrase. This may go on my headstone one day. He turned off the noise. The noise is the term that I give to the constant bombardment of negative thoughts, negative directives and negative assessments that we receive every single day. Okay, through media, mass and social media, corporations, advertisers, even family and friends. We are told hundreds of times a day in hundreds of different ways that we cannot, will not, and could not fulfill our deepest desires. And it's capped off with generous dollops of assurance that we somehow don't deserve to fulfill them. And all of these words, all these expressions, this input, all of this stimulus, they're all words from people who want to manipulate. They want to manipulate us into doing their bidding. In other words, like making them successful at the cost of our own dreams. Or these are bitter people who have assured themselves that if they couldn't achieve success, then nobody can, including you. And that's the scary one. You know, if it's media or criminal corporations or the government or mind control, whatever you believe in, that's fine because you know what it is, right? It's overt. It's clear that's what's happening. The scary one are family members who believe that they're actually trying to help you. They really think they're doing you a favor by telling you, you can't, it's impossible, forget it.
Mm-hmm.
But what they mean is it's impossible for me. So they think it's impossible for you, you know? And the other group is the wealthy minority who want to ensure that you don't rise to their levels of wealth and success. But, you know, that's more along my conspiracy theory sort of approach. So I won't bore people with that one. I'm sure people are more interested with the stuff close to home. But the thing is, you need to shut them out, focus on your goals and dreams. So start by turning off the news, first of all. And I won't go off on a tangent about how much I hate the news. But you seriously, especially right now, oh my God, you don't need the news. We got enough things to worry about. You need to limit your time on social media. And you have to think about what you're looking at in social media, and you got to consider who you're allowing into your circle of influence. When you do that, you turn off the noise, and once the noise is off, you get to listen to your own thoughts. Well, more your heart and your soul. You don't want to listen too much to your thoughts because your mind lies to you too. It's your heart and soul that'll tell you the truth. You've got to be careful of the mind because the mind's already been conditioned, especially if you've been around for a few years. The mind's full of bad stuff and it keeps listening to it. Your heart and soul know to ignore that nonsense, but you got to turn off the noise first.
Yeah.
The second thing you got to do is take stock of your current success. And this is the one that you know about, Joseph. This is what people call gratitude. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that a lot of people think that gratitude is being thankful for what you've got and don't ask for more and, you know, that kind of thing. That's not true. All gratitude is reflecting on your gratitude is you taking inventory of the things that you already have in your life. So, you know, like me, like I have my grandson who you can hear talking in the background. He's at home school, so he's actually still, you know, doing his thing. Mm-hmm. The example I love with gratitude is if you were about to go grocery shopping, what's the first thing you would do? You would check the fridge and the pantry or whatever, to ensure that you did not waste any time or money filling your cart with things you didn't need. So the same thing's true of our lives. We need to be honest with ourselves about what we've already got so we don't waste time or money seeking things we don't really need. And we miss out on the acquisition of the things that we genuinely do. So being grateful isn't about, you know, suck it up and be thankful for what you already got. No, it's about taking inventory of the things that we don't need to spend any more time, you know, accumulating in our life. And, you know, to further extend the analogy, that grocery list that's that to-do list that you put your dreams on. That's the same one, right? Why do the groceries get purchased every week? Because you put them on the list. How will your dreams become a reality? You put them on the list. Make some part of your daily chores, errands, activities, whatever, be a reflection of something that's going to bring true freedom and joy and thing. It's going to accelerate your dreams. Make sure you're doing something every day in the planner, physically. Don't put your dream off as a distant fantasy. Bring it forward, make it a task. And the way you make it a task is you put it on the list right between groceries and laundry. You know, groceries, follow my dreams, laundry, walk the dog. And it sounds like it's a joke. I'm serious. You need to open the planner and make sure there's an entry every single day in that planner for follow my dreams.
It's, you know what, I to tell you the truth, like when I started journaling, to tell you, like in all honesty, in the past few days, it's been really rough. I haven't journaled much, but to what I'm doing in terms of journaling is more than what I've been doing like a few months ago. So it started about last month, and just writing down every day. I journal every evening, and when I write down my gratitudes, and you think about it and you're like, okay, it's not that bad. When I start thinking, okay, business is slow, but then I remember, oh, who came to class tonight? And they feel like, wow. And they smiled. They said, after all the torture, they still said thank you. Who does that? Who says thank you after getting tortured? Who appreciates it? But they enjoyed the workout. They felt good. But it's just the way I tell them to express gratitude. And we forget that. But then I put that on my list and I'm like, okay, what can I do tomorrow? That's the next entry. So I always, in a lot of cases, in a lot of entries, I put a question. What can I do tomorrow? Something to that effect, or whatever related to whatever topic I'm thinking of. So if I'm feeling, if I want to bring that positive energy and bring in a new client, it's like one of the questions was, who will I impact tomorrow? Who will I impact tomorrow? Whose life will I change tomorrow? And it's so we don't. And you're right. You go to the grocery store, and I thought when you're going with the grocery store analogy, I thought people would be like, oh, they open up the fridge and they're like, oh, I don't have enough food. I'm like, well, you have more food than other people in the world, in society, in our own communities. Maybe your neighbor, you think you don't have enough, but your neighbor might have even less. And I think now during this pandemic, we're all like, there are families right now who are struggling to get those basic grocery needs. And so I thought you were going to go with that a little bit. And then I was going to say, oh yeah, and then we go to Costco, and then we're like filling up the whole cart with stuff we don't need. All right. And there was another thing I want to bring up. I know you got one more tip, number 3, but when it comes to negativity, and negativity is closing, shutting it all off. Yes, I stopped looking at social media in the morning. And I think we do that. We spend half an hour. We scroll through social media and we see all the comments, especially in the community groups. We see some of the comments of people developing these, either trolling others. Someone put a question there and then they're like just putting that person down. I was like, why? Why are you being a bully on social media? When someone asks a question, maybe but it wasn't obvious for them. So enlighten them, give them the answer. And then people developing their own theories about the virus or whatever it is. And you just don't need that pollution. And I agree with you, with the hardest part of all that is when it's family. When it comes to personal training or fitness or nutrition, you tell your family one thing, or you tell your family you're doing something, you just want, well, it's not healthy. It's not healthy. But are you eating enough protein? I'm a fitness specialist. I've done my research. Yeah, and but there is a caring. Don't you think there's that caring? Yes, for them it's impossible for things to do like, but then you can enlighten them and explain to them, this is what I'm doing, because they are family at the end of the day. So explain to them, have that conversation, and just hope that they wish you well, even though they don't agree to disagree. But then, it just, but then you could realize, you could just tell them like, look, yeah, you're right. This is your opinion. I'm going to do my thing. And that's it. I'm not harming you. And I think that's where a lot of us get mad, because someone's not doing it according to our standards. But what if we forgot about that mentality? What if we let that go and said, you know what, they're doing their thing. They're doing it their way, whatever works for them. It may not be according to our principles. So why are we losing our cool? Why are we losing our sugar, honey, ice, and tea over something that we don't have control over? And B, that doesn't really hurt us. So right. Yeah, no, that's it. So, and it's blocking all that negativity out. And that's where, like, when we go to the conferences and you must have felt this when we have, even at the virtual conference, if you had a chance to attend it, you still feel that positive energy. You still feel that, people are there to grow. And when you're growing together, you feel great, and you feel there's promise, there's hope. And you feel like, you had that snowplow that passed through your path to clear up the journey, or you see that lighthouse, they changed the light bulb in the lighthouse, and you see it. Still, you still got to navigate those rocky waters, but you have a direction and you have determination. So I get that. I totally get that. I agree with you. Number one, abundance. First of all, like, turn off all the negativity, turn off the noise, how you put it. And what's number three?
Well, it's funny when you say negativity. It's one of the problems that we have, I think, is that people when they hear negativity, they want to, if they're trying to travel away from something, they look for the opposite. And the problem is, I want to get away from negativity, and they go positivity. Positivity is not the opposite of negativity. The opposite of negativity is faith, belief, trust. Negativity is always the absence of faith. It's you can't grasp something, can't believe in something. When we have negativity, it's always directed to something, and it's going to be something we don't believe in. And as you said, people have their own way of doing things, but everybody's getting stuck on this way or that way, and that's the negativity. And it works the other way too, because if people are moving away from positivity, we say, they're moving toward negativity. No, they're moving toward fear and doubt. The opposite of positivity is fear and doubt. The opposite of a mindset is a condition. One mindset isn't the opposite of another mindset. You can adjust the alignment of mindsets. You can say, I want to go from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. I want to travel from a negative mindset to a positive mindset. But if you're saying I'm existing in negativity, but I want to get away from it, then you're not just going to say, so I'm going to move into positivity. That's just words. You have to move into an action. And the action, if you're moving away from negativity, is to move into faith and belief and trust and action. Action comes from believing, not being afraid, getting away from fear. If you're drifting away from positivity, then you're drifting into fear, you're drifting into doubt, you're drifting into a lack of confidence and faith, understanding, trust, etc. So there is so much negativity in the world, but as we're trying to get away from it, we're just blindly saying, well, let's jump to positivity. And that's why you have 10 million memes on social media that, God bless you all for your kind thoughts. They mean nothing. They're not helping anybody, not doing anything, because they're not rising people to action. They're hammering them over the head to change their mindset. You can't do that. I'm feeling scared. I'm feeling doubtful. I'm feeling victimized today. I'm feeling worried. I'm feeling, well, it's darkest before the dawn. And like, thanks for nothing. You're literally telling me, stop talking that way and talk this way. How does that help me? No, you need to guide people away from their fear. You need to guide them away from their doubts. And that's more noise. It really is. And I'm sorry. I'm sure I've offended millions of people with their lovely, thoughtful memes. It's great. I love that you're putting so much positive thought on the internet. But please don't post it and think, I've changed the world. No, you really haven't yet, because you're part of the noise at this point.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny you bring that up. Hashtag Motivation Monday. You know what?
I'm guilty of it too. I do it too. When I've got nothing else to post, I post a happy meme, right? Better than nothing, so it's terrible. A terrible hypocrisy. I'm part of the noise when I post my happy little memes.
But you know what? But to think about it, this is a topic for another day, talking about social media and what we post. And I've had this conversation with so many people about the quality of content that's posted versus, we go from like just posting for the sake of posting, and hoping to get those followers, and whereas, we want to be driven to post something that impacts people, but we got to remember, take action. And I think just posting that meme, and it kind of reminded me of a thought I used to have where, it's like, okay, you posted that meme. Now I feel more like sugar, honey, ice, and tea. By the way, I'm not making this explicit, so that's why I'm censoring it. So sugar, honey, ice, and tea, folks. If you can figure that out, the first letter of each word forms another word. So because I read these things, and I there's a lot of people, like you said, God bless their hearts. They're well-intentioned, but if you're going to post a meme like that, write in the caption your experience. And I think as a great coach, if you want to make an impact, you got to share your experience. To be a coach who says they have a perfect life, run away. Run away, because nobody to be a coach, you need that experience to relate. You know, I didn't become a personal trainer because I like exercise. I became a fitness coach because I went through a journey similar to many others, and I want to help them. You know, I want to help them out out of the, you know, into something like where they feel good, where they feel like they belong, where they feel stronger. And then they can say with confidence to their parents who say, careful, don't, you're going to hurt your back if you pick that up. So don't worry, I got this. I got this. You know, speaking of the memes, you know, but I've seen a few. Some of the memes, I must say, are funny.
Oh, I love the funny ones. I love the funny ones because that's you know, because that is moving us away from our fear and doubt. It's letting us laugh. It's inviting us to get past our fear, even only for a few seconds, and laugh and enjoy. It's the ones that try to inspire us. That it's like, you really think that your sentence, that's not even your sentence, you're borrowing it from someone else and putting it on a floral background. Do you really think that that is going to suddenly turn everything around for me? No, it's and that's what it is. And you know, those memes, those are other people trying to get rid of their fear. So it's okay. Go ahead and post your memes, but understand it's not for me. It's for you. You're doing it for yourself. You're posting that to hear those thoughts in your own mind. And so please don't misunderstand me. I know your intention is genuinely good, but if your intention is that good and you're that empowered, take it to the next step. Better to post a picture of yourself and put some text above it that talks about something you've done, an action you've taken, something that's changed your life, and share it with other people and let them take a similar action or adapt that action into their life. Your post is going to be so much more meaningful, and we're going to have social media full of things that are actually changing people's lives and helping.
That's right. And you know, John C. Maxwell puts in his book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, he said, and this is my favorite chapter, and this is my favorite chapter. It was chapter 4 of this book, I believe. And in order to motivation, people look for motivation externally. They say, you motivate me. I'm looking, I want to be motivated. I want to feel motivated. Well, take the first step, because motivation comes with action. So you got to take, as much as it sounds weird,
it's also not an external force.
No,
you can create a motivating experience, but you can't inject motivation. Motivation, education, right? They're inspiration. In fact, you can speak in inspiring ways. You can share inspiring stories. You can't inspire someone. They have to become inspired. You can't motivate someone. They have to do it. You can be the best trainer or coach in the world. If somebody says, I'm not getting up, no motivation's happened. It hasn't happened. And education, you can teach, you can't force someone to learn. So we need to stop thinking of motivation, education, and inspiration as external forces, both those of us who are seeking them and those of them who are offering them. We need to stop giving ourselves capes and tights that we can't use. You know, we're putting on a cape, but we don't know how to fly. So we're in there going, I'll motivate you. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. You know, create the moment. I mean, don't just give up, but you got to realize those are not external forces, and people have got to stop seeking. I'm seeking motivation. Well, unless you're meditating and climbing inside your soul to find out if it's there, you are on a long journey to nowhere.
That's right. That's right. So, number 3, did you say number 3? I don't know.
No, number 3 is my favorite. Visualize and actualize.
Visualize and actualize. Nice.
Yes. See, otherwise, your dream remains a dream. Here's, you know, one of my favorite things. Here's a meme. Here's something right from a meme for you. The reason we call them dreams. Why do we call I mean, technically they're fantasies, and life expectations would be a better, you know, name for them. Why do we call them dreams? Simple. We don't give them any time in our waking hours. That's why they're called dreams, because we don't afford them any of our waking time. Because if we did, people would go, hey, stop dreaming, quit daydreaming, stop screwing around. Right? So if you can't picture yourself successful, whatever that looks like to you, if you can't picture it, how the hell do you think you're going to make it happen? How do you think you make it? Okay, let's go back to the grocery analogy. How do we get those groceries purchased? Well, to start with, we know what a head of broccoli looks like. We can visualize the groceries. We can actually picture ourselves going and buying a broccoli crown and taking it home. We can even picture what we're going to do with it. Part of making your list and purchasing your thing is because you're thinking about what you're making for dinner. This is all visualization. People don't even realize it, but that's visualization at its simplest form, right? So can you picture yourself doing what's required to make your dreams come true? Do you even know what the steps are? Right? By picturing yourself in the dream life that you desire for yourself, right? Then you can literally imagine the steps that you took to get there. And this might take a while, right? Like, don't think, oh, that's great. Like, I'll do that tomorrow and my dreams will all come true. No, it's a process, but you have to start. You start by picturing it. You work at it a little bit each day. Mm-hmm. So that's visualization. Actualization, this is what I'm excited about because this is a pretty new kind of thing. This is a little newer. Visualization's been around forever. Athletes use it to score the goal. They picture the puck at the back of the net, and it's wonderful stuff. And we're all familiar with it, but actualization is a little bit newer. You want to start acting the part. You want to start actually living the life that you desire as much as you can. So this is like, hey, here's another meme. Dress for the job you want, not the job you've got. And my favorite meme of that is, now I'm sitting in the human resources office dressed like Batman, about to get fired. That would be me, 100%. That, or I'd be dressed like Luke Skywalker or something. But total nerd. But that is an example of actualizing. That's what it is. You start dressing for the job you're after, so people see you differently. You feel differently. You react differently. You don't want to do it so you're going into the warehouse in a suit and tie. That will make you unproductive and even counterproductive. But to a certain extent, you don't live in the skin someone else has put you in. Live in the skin you want to live in. Act the way you do. So why do we go to the grocery store without even thinking about it? Because we can assume the role of homemaker without hesitation. So, Joe, when you set out to exercise, do you struggle with what steps to take or how to be successful at it? No. Is that experience? A little bit. But the main thing is because you can walk in the shoes of an athlete or bodybuilder or resilient warrior, right?
I'm going to take that one, by the way. I'm going to write that down. Resilient warrior.
You can walk in those shoes without doubting yourself or feeling out of place or silly, right? You don't walk into the room dressed up. Maybe you got your super tight ultra Under Armour on today. You're really going to smoke, you're boom, whatever. You don't ever look at yourself in the mirror and go, I feel stupid. No, I feel empowered. I feel pumped. I am stoked. I'm going to rock it. And nobody would consider questioning you in the faith that you have in your actions. And again, not because, well, he has years of experience. Well, he looks like he knows what he's doing. Oh, he's in good shape. Those are the lies we tell ourselves. What people are thinking subconsciously when they look at you is, look at the confidence in what he's doing. It shows because you fill those shoes confidently, it exudes. So people go, hey, that guy knows what he's doing. He's cool. Look at that guy. Whoa. That confidence is born out of the fact that you actualize your purpose and your goal and your dream every single day and everything that you do. So here's another meme for you, but this is what a meme should be. Because get ready, here's action for you. Put into adage so that you can remember it. See it, believe it, act it, become it.
I like that.
Which, if you want to make an acronym, it would be SABAB. It's Babs backwards. How's that? But you see it, which is the visualization. Believe it, which is the abundant mindset. Act it, which is the actualization. Put those three together, you will become it. Mm-hmm. If you live a certain way, that's what a habit is. If you live your life a certain way for long enough, it becomes your life. It becomes how it is. I act like somebody who eats kale every day. In 3 weeks, I eat kale. That's it. That's just who I am.
Don't knock kale. Kale is good. Regardless of what other people say, I enjoy it. You can make it. Everybody has their own palate. I respect that.
Indeed.
But don't knock it. Don't knock it.
I have a palate for turnovers, but
Well, you'd like yourself a nice apple strudel.
I do, yeah. I like my strudel, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, no kidding. I'm almost half German, so I do like my strudel, and I like to wear my lederhosen when I eat it.
So you know, it's funny.
Can you
It's true.
imagine me in lederhosen?
Um,
Thank God this isn't video.
Well, for those of you watching the podcast, this episode will be available on YouTube, so you can get an idea. No, but in all seriousness, though, I know. And by the way, folks, when Blake and I get together, this is what the conversation is like. We talk coaching, we talk shop, but then we
talk like morons for a while.
a little bit. We take off our coaching hats for a little bit, and we put on our beer helmets. But
if you and I spent 5 minutes together and there wasn't at least 3 laughs, there'd be something wrong with the world.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? And this is coming, and not everybody knows this, but you reminded me of the fact that you used to be a talent agent.
Yeah, so
I
wasn't so much an agent, but more casting director.
Casting director, yeah.
But it was necessity more than vocation. I ran a theater company, and somebody had to put the people on stage. So I I directed for a bit. I was even up there for a little while, but yeah.
No, but that's it. But it brings me to the point where, and especially us in the fitness industry, we go through we have our own stuff. We're going through our own things, but as soon as we meet with that client, it's theater. We got to put our game face on. We got to go in theater mode. All right. You take a look at yourself in the mirror, you go take a deep breath in, and then you go on stage. That's what we do. We still want to live it, but we got to give that push, because the more we push to remind ourselves, hey, I'm feeling like this. How can I turn my perspective around, rather than the positivity, like the whole positivity mindset? It's changing that perspective that will help. So if we be like, okay, starting a class now, all right, rough day, but this class is gonna energize me. I'm gonna energize people. That energizes me. Let's go for it. Do a couple of vocal trainings, whatever, warm-ups, jump right in. And so when we talked about, so in life, that's what it is. When you present yourself as the person you strive to be tomorrow. Now, I'm not talking about next year. I'm not talking about 5. And I hate that question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where I see myself tomorrow. Ask me that question. That's the thing. Because I find that life now, growth is so variable, not volatile, variable. Because what I want to be tomorrow, well, in 5 years, well, tomorrow, it's not going to be the same what I want to be in 5 years. I didn't see myself as a fitness coach 6 years ago. So when I got that interview, like, obviously, you go to a job, and it's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Well, definitely not here. If you want the honest answer. But, always put that game face on and always strive to be that 1%, like Todd Durkin puts it, that 1% better every day. So those 3 tips. So we got turn off the noise. Take stock of your current successes and visualize and actualize. And, those are, I think, and I totally agree with you. And those fall in line with what I call my 5 principles of resilience, and which, include, celebrating the small wins, express an attitude of gratitude, and, release perfection and embrace imperfection. Surround yourself with, create your choir. Surround yourself with those who make your soul sing, and who allow you to make theirs sing in return. And there's also feel uncomfortable, or be comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. And a lot of those fall in line with that. And you got to be, there's some things when you talk to your family, or you have that negative, that current pushing against you. You want to swim against it. That's going to feel uncomfortable. But the more you push, the stronger you're going to get. Okay, obviously within reason. And taking stock of the gratitude, express an attitude of gratitude. And then we're talking visualize and actualize. So at the end of the day, when you're falling back, how do you take control? Celebrate the win, release the perfection, the ideals of what the situation was perceived as originally, and work with what you got control over, control of. And so, and so, folks, if you're you're listening to this now, whatever season of life you're living, I mean, we're all, as a global community, we are living a season of life we're sharing a season of life that's, does present its challenges. But these 3 tips on abundance, you just remember these, and I hope you wrote it down, because this will actually, I believe, will help shift your perspective. And that's what we need to do right now. And as a coach, we hate using the word need. No, I need, but let's look at life differently, and let's change our perspective and see things differently that will benefit us, that will help with our growth. And that's, to have that growth mindset. That growth mindset leads to abundance mindset. Everything's connected together in that crazy intertwined web and of overall fitness. Now, I want to talk about a lot of things I could talk about right now. I was going to ask you quickly now. So throughout the pandemic, a lot of people have tried new things. And I know you have started something online as a way to inspire and just put a smile on people's faces once a week, called 3 Wise Men. And I think that title should be changing because you have a 4th person now. And so how first of all, what was the trigger for that? And how has it been received?
Well, first of all, we did officially change the opening and the name. It is now the full official title of the show is The 3 Not So Wise Men and a Much Wiser Lady. Well, we kind of call it 3 Men and a Lady, just to get it done. But
Who's Steve Gutenberg?
We did. What's that?
Who's Steve Gutenberg?
Which just Steve Gutenberg. Yeah, I'd be Ted Danson. I got the big bald spot. But it was born out of Chris Noble and I kind of got together and just said we got to do something. We were goofing around 100 summers ago when we could all mix and mingle together in my backyard. We did a live video and it got so much response. It was just him and I goofing around. I think I could probably claim we didn't even know we were recording, and people would believe me because we were just clowning around. But people loved it. And we do have a nice rapport. And, it got me thinking of you and me, you, me and Savory, when we get together, Sparkplug, that's all we do. We just laugh and joke. And we've often thought, boy, if somebody shot this and posted it, people would love it. They'd drink it up because of all the positivity, all of the joy. And so Chris and I just said, let's just do something and make people laugh. And we were pretty ballsy about it because for some reason we thought Monday would be a good night. Like probably the worst night to broadcast anything. And we're still struggling to get the numbers because it's Monday.
You're competing with Monday Night Football.
Well, yeah, that's true. We are competing with football and, but we're also competing with Monday. It's like, who wants anything? Nobody wants. Football fans will take the time to sit down and do something on a Monday. Everyone else just says, the hell with it, it's Monday. But little by little, word of mouth is spreading and people are literally saying, hey, check this out. They're only on for about, 30, 40 minutes. But while they're on, you're laughing your head off and they're just funny. They're just having fun. And we're getting people to come around and just say, yeah, you know what? I got nothing better to do on a Monday than cheer myself up and feel better, And we've gotten some great feedback from people. Some people have come back and said, I was so inspired. And I'm like, well, how the heck did that happen? We're not trying to inspire anybody. I don't know what we did. And other people have literally given us the backhanded compliment of thank you. We need more shows where people just goof off and do nothing. We're like Seinfeld, but funnier. Sorry, Jerry. Oh, yeah,
that's fantastic. So it airs when?
Monday nights at 8:30 Eastern.
Yeah, and that's on Facebook Live, right?
Facebook Live, yes. We're on my profile. You can go to N2L Transformations Facebook page, which is just at N2L Transformations. Broadcasts there, and we're on YouTube. So,
fantastic.
I don't know that we have a huge following there. The only 3 comments I've received so far have been from scammy porno sites. Although one of them posted by saying, I love you. So I appreciate that. I don't care where it comes from. I love being told that I'm loved.
Oh, that's wonderful. Puts a smile on your face.
Exactly. I had to block her and report her, but I appreciated the sentiment.
Yeah. Oh, it's but to tell you the truth, and I agree. When you guys started, when it was just it was you, both you and Chris, and then you got Patrick involved. Patrick Savuri, folks. Those of you who remember, he appeared on the show a couple of times. With Blake at the same time, we had the consortium of coaches discussion early on in the pandemic. And I think the Not So Three Wise Men was kind of like a spin-off of that in a way. Whereas the consortium of coaches, we talked about a topic of coaching, whereas in your conversation where it's more generalization, and then you actually get lessons out of that, because I think people respond more to experiences and lessons learned from those experiences. And remember, there's never a failure, there's always a lesson.
That's right. I think Wise Men was a literal flip-flop from the consortium, because the consortium, we got together to talk about a topic and to really truly inspire people and to share something valuable, and we have some laughs along the way. Wise Men is to get together to have some laughs, and maybe will inspire along the way. It's literally
however you connect.
Exactly.
However you connect.
People consume their stuff in different ways. So it's important that we all throw something out there. There's too much copy. That's the problem. Well, that was successful, so I'm going to do it exactly the same way. Well, are you trying to get clicks and profits, or are you trying to serve? Because if you're trying to serve, the first thing you want to do is don't do it the same way. We've already got that. They're already doing it. Yes, it's successful, so I'll copy it. Well, then that's greedy. That's just you being greedy. If you're trying to serve, then the first thing you should do is say, I'll do something completely opposite from what they're doing, and give people, a different thing. So, I mean, Consortium and Three Wise Men, they're really polar opposites as far as shows. One is incredibly compelling. One is not compelling at all. But people consume their stuff differently. Some people don't want to be preached to or whatever. I mean, we weren't very preachy on the Consortium. We're pretty nice folks, but a lot of people might see it that way, because we were in there being serious, taking on the issues. Some people don't want that. They want to laugh and giggle, and maybe if they get a lesson, they don't mind, as long as it isn't shoved down their throats. So
I think, we were in the beginning of the pandemic, and I think we were in that mindset of like, okay, it's strategizing. It's time to create strategies and focus on how we are going. What are we going to do and how we're going to do it? A type mentality just to navigate the waters. And that's the analogy I've been using a lot lately, which is navigating dark waters. And we're always looking, we got to find that lighthouse, but we got to also control the helm, right? Yeah. And we got to also look out for the neighbors beside us and in the life rafts and rescue and not say, for lack of a better term, save them or rescue them, but guide them as well. Now, a couple of quick questions, rapid fire questions to end the conversation. N2L, what does that stand for?
Never too late, because if you recall, I was 45 when I got started, and I'm still working on it. I will, in fact, be turning 55 in 1 month. So,
ooh.
Yeah, on inauguration day, 2021 inauguration day. This will be the year I've already accepted. No one will be paying any attention to me on my birthday. But I will. And at 55, I'm still rocking. I've still got new dreams, goals, etc. So my message to everybody always, it's never too late. But it comes with a codicil. It's never too late, but it's also never too soon. So get started. Get on it.
All right. Okay, next one. Favorite vacation spot?
Really? Seriously?
Hey, I know it, but the listeners of the podcast don't.
It starts with A, and it ends with Ruba.
Cuba?
Cuba? Rhyme. It's
Aruba.
Yeah, Aruba. Yes. Well, nice. And that's the big thing we got on the burner right now is Aruba abundance. We're hopeful that it'll happen in April 2021, but our little microscopic friend will decide that for us, I fear. Mm-hmm. So we'll have to see what happens there. But if we don't, we're going to do what we call an e-treat. So instead of a retreat, we're going to do an e-treat, and it's spelled with treat with a capital T, because it will be a treat. I'm at the point where I'm going to mail sand to people if I have to, and they can stick their feet in it and go get some water and turn on a heat lamp. We'll do whatever it takes to give people the experience. But if we can't actually get to One Happy Island, we're going to recreate it, and we're going to give people the Aruba Abundance Retreat is an immersion in abundance. So basically for 7 days, we turn the noise off for you and force you to live a life of abundance. And we feel confident that after 7 days, when you get back on that plane, you'll go, I am not going back to my life. I am not doing it. So that's what we're after with that. So,
all right. And speaking of memes, okay. How would you describe yourself in a meme?
Me in a meme.
Yeah, I put you on the spot.
Well, first of all, it would be that Patrick Stewart one where he's got his hands up in the air, right? Because any meme of me would start with, why the hell? But me in a meme. That's, you really put me on the spot with that one. Me in a meme. I'm just trying to picture it. You know what? Me in a meme would be me painted up as Shrek. Maybe just my face. I may have my face on Shrek's body, and the caption would be, "I have layers like an onion." That's
okay.
Me. That's me as a meme.
now, next time I see you, I'm gonna picture your whole body green and
Yeah.
with well, thankfully, I don't have to smell you right now.
It's either that or I'm Hulk. Either way, I'm painted green, because then the other meme would be me painted green, and it would say, "Get away from me, puny humans."
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash, Blake smash.
Hulk smash. All right, Matt. Well, thank you very much. How can people connect with you? And I know you do coaching as well through the Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise coaching program and through the Certified Coaches Federation as well. So if people wanted to coach with you, how can they connect with you?
All right. Well, the best way to find me is on Facebook. I'm there a lot. So you can find me on my page, which, as I mentioned, was N2L Transformations. I also have a second page, which we just opened up because this is something exciting we're doing for 2021. I'm now going to help people more specific. Joseph, it's called niching down. I'm getting a little more specific with how I share abundance with people. I'm going to help people to plan their retirement. So you can also find me on my newly formed page, Retire Early and in Style. I just kind of told it like it was. I didn't get fancy with the title. You can also join our Aruba Abundance group to find out more about e-treats and retreats. And I also have the Renovate Your Lifestyle group, which is another concept that I have, that if you want to change your life and create transformation, you have to renovate. And the first thing to renovate is your mindset. But the next thing, and the big job, is renovating your lifestyle. That's the actualization part. That's where you renovate the lifestyle you live. Start living the life of the successful person you want to be, not the skin someone else has put you in. So you can go to the Renovate Your Lifestyle group. On Instagram, we're at N2L_ transformations. I don't know why. It was so long ago, I don't remember. There's no other N2L transformations, so I don't know why we had to have an underscore, but you probably know better than me, Patrick. But LinkedIn,
Did you call me Patrick? Did you call me Patrick?
Did I call you Patrick? It's a compliment.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't called you Chris, because I say his name 75 times a night on Mondays, and it's stuck in my brain forever. And every time I'm taking the mickey out of somebody, I say Chris, because that's what I do,
Mm-hmm.
And Patrick's my tech guy, so that's probably why I said it, because I was going to know better than me technical. So
a compliment anyway. I'll take it.
It is a compliment. He's a wonderful man. If you've looked for my name on LinkedIn, I'm there. I don't spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, but I do have a little parcel of articles that you can read, which are fun. And my website is n2lblake.com. Couldn't be easier. There you go. We're under a little bit of construction on the website right now, but you can still come on in. You don't need a hard hat and you don't need a mask to visit my website.
Fantastic.
So that's my until COVID's over, that's my little catchphrase. You don't need a mask to visit my website.
Well, yeah, no, it's once in it's good to breathe sometimes. I'll put those in the show notes and make sure people can reach out to you for some good some good abundance coaching, and coaching in general, and especially we're talking about retire early and in style. I kind of like that. Very catchy. Retire early and in style. Let's see, Reese. Yeah, there we go.
There you go. That's not bad.
Okay, and every time and for anybody who signs up gets a free case of Reese's peanut butter cups. No,
there you go. That's what I was going to say. Is we'll call it Reese, and then if you take one of our mini programs, that's a Reese's piece.
Yeah. So, by the way, I do not I'm not sponsored by that company, and although the candy is delicious, it is sinful, and I think the last time I had one was a year ago, last Halloween. Anyway, so thank you very much, Blake. I mean, I know you've been indirectly on the show through the consortium of coaches, but to have you one-on-one, it's an honor and it's a privilege to have you. It's a blessing, and I'm grateful to call you a friend. To have you in my life. You know, we don't get to hang out or talk much, but when we do, you know, I feel it feels great. And yeah, buddy, I totally appreciate it. And I hope, I wish you amazing success in your journey, and hopefully we'll see each other soon in person and maybe in Aruba.
Oh, you want to believe in Aruba? I already picked out your room at the villa. I know where you guys are staying. It's all set. It's all done.
Fantastic.
Thanks so much, buddy. The pleasure was mine, and have a wonderful holiday season. And I'm sure I'll talk to you before, but I'll give you the official Happy New Year. Have a great 2021, buddy.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I bet you're smiling right now and feeling the growth of an abundance mindset after listening to our conversation. You know, I usually get to catch up with Blake in person every year at the CanFit Pro Fitness Conference in Toronto. But these past 10 months or so, fortunately, have allowed us to connect more virtually. In any case, every time we chat, we meet up online, we connect, I always feel great. I feel awesome. Now, did you write down the 3 tips on abundance, his 3 tips on abundance? You know, I hope you did. If not, just rewind the video and go check them out again. However, just in case, here's a quick recap. Number 1, turn off the noise. Identify what stirs up those overwhelming emotions that creates that scarcity mindset and shut it off. I'm talking about doom scrolling, yes. Avoid social media. If social media is making you anxious, take a break from it. Same thing goes for the news. Because there's a lot of uncertainties. We create these scenarios that don't even exist or might not even happen. And it just drives us nuts. And then we create that scarcity mindset. Number 2, take stock of your current successes. Write down at least one thing that happened that merits a high five. And say thank you for having it in your life. We take a lot of things for granted. And we tend to forget the small things that happen that bring joy to our lives. And number 3, visualize and actualize. Write down what achieving abundance looks like to you. And be realistic. And identify the first step that must happen in order to get to that goal, to reach it. And then take that step. Take that first single step forward. Now, my friends, start to live out your dream. And in the process, remember to do it with joy, curiosity, and passion.